Good morning. Today is Wednesday, November 22nd, and this is Devotions from St. Paul Evangelical Lutheran Church in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I'm going to take a passage today from the book of Job and talk a little bit about Job's defense of himself in his trials. But first, let's think about Job. God held Job up as a righteous man. Now, Job was a rich man. He had lots of flocks. He had lots of children. But God knew he was righteous because when his sons particularly went out and had a party for their friends, Job would then go and give a sacrifice in case they had done anything at the party that they should not have done. And so God was in a discussion with his angels, and Satan came, and God said to Satan, "Look at my servant Job, and how righteous he is." And Satan challenged God. And God allowed Satan to bring bad things to Job as long as he didn't kill him. So initially he took all his flocks and most of his wealth, and then he had all his children killed, and finally he gave him great physical suffering on his whole body, such that he was in agony constantly. And Job had 3 friends and one other young man who came to try to console Job, but he would not be consoled. And so as part of Job's defense, because he thought of himself as a righteous man, I'm going to read a section that comes from chapter 16 of Job. So I'll do that now, and then we'll go from there. So this is from chapter 16 of Job. God gives me up to the ungodly and casts me into the hands of the wicked. I was at ease, and he broke me in two. He seized me by the neck and dashed me to pieces. He set me up as his target, and his archers surrounded me. He slashes open my kidneys and shows no mercy. He pours out my gall on the ground. He bursts upon me again and again. He rushes at me like a warrior. I have sewed sackcloth upon my skin, and I have laid my strength in the dust. My face is red with weeping, and the deep darkness is on my eyelids. Though there is no violence in my hands, and my prayer is pure. O earth, do not cover my blood. Let my outcry find no resting place. Even now, in fact, my witness is in heaven, and he that vouches for me is on high. My friends scorn me. My eye pours out tears to God, that he would maintain the right of a mortal with God, as one does for a neighbor. For when a few years have come, I shall go the way from which I shall not return. You listen to the beginning of that passage, and it's awful. Job is accusing God of all kinds of violence against his person. And God didn't do it, Satan did it, but God allowed it. God let it go. But did you see the part there where it says, O earth, do not cover up my blood? This is a reference back to Cain and Abel, where Abel's blood spoke to God from the ground and accused Abel. And Job is citing this, saying, let my blood speak for me from the ground, that I might not be accused. And right after that, he says, I know that my witness is in heaven. Now he's getting ready to say, I still believe in God. I think God was wrong to let all these things happen to me, but I still believe in God. Now I want to read one more passage. It's from 3 chapters later, and it's much clearer about Job's thoughts about God. So this is from chapter 19. Oh, that my words were written down. Oh, that they were inscribed in a book. Oh, that an iron pen and with lead they were engraved on a rock forever. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and that at the last he will stand upon the earth. And after my skin has been destroyed, then in my flesh I will see God, whom I shall see on my side, and my eyes shall behold, and not another. My heart faints within me. Job cries out in his agony, I know that my Redeemer lives. I've never experienced anything like this chapter talks about with Job. I've never had the kind of losses that he had. I've never had the kind of physical problems that he's had. And so I can't understand exactly the depths of his despair and the way he is crying to God for relief. But I suspect every one of us has had some trials where we wondered, why is this happening to me? Why is all of this happening to me at one time? And sometimes we can lose sight in those moments of all that God has ever done for us, of all the blessings that we get, because at that moment, we don't see the blessings, we see the persecution. And I really do hope that like Job, we can see through all that pain and state boldly, I know that my Redeemer lives, and I know that I will stand with him in my flesh. I hope you can read these chapters from the book of Job and get the same kind of encouragement that I get. Now, I had to wade through an awful lot of reading with Job where he was complaining about God. But you get to the part where he says, I know that my Redeemer lives. And you can get away from all that. Because at the end of the story, Job even says, I know I'm going the way from which I will not return. I'm going to die in this body. But I know that in the flesh, I will stand with my Redeemer. There's great joy in Job's heart when he says this. There's great faith in Job's heart when he says this. And my prayer for you and for me is that we can experience that same faith in Jesus, especially in very tough times, but truly every day. I don't think this says we're going to have a placid life, that everything's going to be great all the time. But I do think it says, in those times of trial, Jesus will be there for us. He will be there as our Redeemer, and we will see him in the flesh, just as Job says to us in this chapter. Think on this, pray on this. Set your mind on this. I hope this is how you are able to live. Thank you.